Well, thank you, Anna. I want to thank Anna Siefkin. I want to thank also Director Whitaker and Dean Sanders for their advocacy. And this has really been, for my case, a lifelong journey that did begin at CMU, as Anna indicated. I remember one of the very first projects we worked on in the late 70s during another energy crisis was how much energy could we save? How much oil, gasoline could we save if the traffic lights along the Fifth Avenue and Forbes Avenue corridor were timed properly, so the stop and go would not happen as much. And from that point on into a 30-year career in the energy and engineering industry till the last decade, being the county executive of Allegheny County, the energy and environment have always been at the forefront of what I've been able to work on. I'm proud of the fact Anna talked about the hydro plant, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I'm also proud of the fact that this university, really from its very beginning, when Andrew Carnegie started with the innovation he began in steelmaking back at the dawn of the Industrial Revolution, using our rivers in a different way for industry, and now we're using them in a different way for recreation as well as energy production. But I'm also proud of the fact that for the first time in our history, our industrial history, Allegheny County came into compliance with every single air monitor that we have, all 8 air monitors throughout the region. And again, the challenges that have met with our partners in industry, our partners, our regulators, our friends at the federal and state government. I want to thank Congressman Doyle and Congressman Lamb for their advocacy and continued support. And I think their advocacy in the new administration, as the Biden administration starts to lay out its infrastructure and energy plans, and policies that will be going forward, are partnerships that we can continue to build upon. Yes, Anna talked about the energy that we consume as a government. Allegheny County has 6,500 employees. We run a jail, a nursing home, 12,000 acres of parkland with swimming pools and ski lifts and ice skating rinks and all the offices and the courtrooms that we have to run. We consume as much energy as 3,400 households do every year. We wanted to figure out a way, how can we, in the energy that we need, produce energy in a sustainable way? So even during the pandemic, we began a process in which we wanted to get off of the grid. So as Anna indicated, we entered into a 35-year agreement to produce hydropower using one of our dams, Aloxan dams along the Ohio River. The irony is obviously using our rivers to produce the energy that will run county government. That will produce, over the next 35 years, it will save the amount of carbon that would be produced by cars driving 2.6 billion miles. So we can see the impact of which these partnerships can continue to flourish. But we've also know that we've got to produce energy to keep running our operations. That's why we entered into an agreement to produce a cogen plant at our Pittsburgh International Airport. We know that certain airports over the last couple of years were knocked out of power and were down for considerable periods of time. Atlanta and LA International Airport come to mind, in which in many ways parts of the nation were crippled and shut down without that type of resiliency. Having our own cogen plant, of which about 20% of the energy will be produced by a solar farm, 80% produced by the natural gas that's produced at our Marcellus Shale wells on the airport property, will give us the resilience we need to make sure we can produce, but also produce in an environmentally friendly way. At our community college branches, we continue to add solar panels to the buildings along our campuses. We've turned 2 of our 9 county parks into net zero with solar, wind, geothermal continuing to produce. But none of these things can happen by themselves. It is really the partnership with this great university giving us a lot of the ideas and the initiatives and the partnerships that we need to be able to produce the type of energy and the type of climate sustaining policies that we can produce. Adding again our electric vehicles at our transit system, our Port Authority of Allegheny County, putting a BRT system in place, again, is going to continue to improve our air quality, our climate initiatives. And again, these things don't happen alone. The fact that we do have Congressman Doyle and Congressman Lamb providing the resources from Washington to allow us to do the type of things that we look forward to doing. These sustainability issues cannot, again, they cannot happen alone. They only happen with the partnerships of our great universities, with our corporate community, with our partners in Washington and in Harrisburg, and all the things that we continue to do. I'm also glad to hear that Governor Wolf has indicated that they're going to be producing 50% of statewide usage of energy for the state office operations using solar. So it translates at the local government, at the state government, and at the federal government. So we're going to continue to try to push the envelope to make sure that we are sustainable, that we make sure that we continue to battle climate change and the reality of what it can occur and the damage it can occur to our generation and future generations. And again, the partnership that we have with the Scott Institute and the university in general, I can't be pleased enough at what you've been able to do, what you've been able to contribute. I do look forward to next year. Again, us sitting around the table, doing it in person. We're using technology, obviously, to be able to deal with the pandemic. But as we get on the other side of this pandemic, it will be good to break bread together, to share these ideas in person, and be able to do the things we know that this region can always do. As Congressman Doyle said, we're pragmatic and we're innovative, and that's part of our DNA. We're going to continue to do that. So let me now introduce another great partner who we work together on so many initiatives in energy and climate, and dealing with these issues is always at the forefront of the policies that the city of Pittsburgh puts forth. And they only get put forth because of great leadership that Mayor Peduto has been able to institute in his terms as mayor. So let me turn it over to my good friend, Mayor Peduto. And again, thank you, Anna, for all the support and work that you continue to do for all of us.